Good morning, everyone. It's April 21st, 2021. Thank you for joining me this morning again here on Monterey's YouTube channel. Let me just jump right in about some of the things that I like to update you about from the perspective of the city manager here in the city of Monterey. I have 5 or 6 items I want to share with you. I will talk to you about city reopening strategies. We'll talk about vaccinations. We will talk briefly about the American Rescue Funds that the city has received or will be receiving. Also give you a brief update about cannabis, and I will also speak briefly about litter control on the highways, because that is also a topic I think that is of interest for many of us. Let's start first about the city opening strategies. As you can see, we are moving all into the right direction. The county is now in the orange tiers, and with that, of course, you have seen that certain facilities are opening up more. Give you an example. On Monday morning, we opened the swimming pool in the Monterey Sports Center at 5:30 a.m. We had about 50 to 60 people already lined up, ready to work out again in the swimming pool. So that was a great sign. We also used the lockdown period to restore the pool deck, and when you go in there now, you will find a brand new pool deck around the swimming pool. It was quite an effort to find the money for that, but we basically used savings or ending balances from many other projects to be able to fund that. So the sports center also expanded their opening hours as a sports center, so you can now start exercising or swimming at 5:30 a.m. in the morning, and we close at 7 o'clock at night. So 5:30 to 7 a.m. Monday through Fridays we are open, and again on Saturday we open then at 8 a.m. and we close at 4 p.m. Unfortunately, Sundays we still remain closed, and that has many reasons, but the biggest reason also is that we just do not have enough folks exercising right now, but we still offer all the time, and we can tell that folks are returning to their sports center. I always call it the premier fitness facility on the Monterey Peninsula, because really it is the #1 fitness facility here on the peninsula, and we have the best of the best in that facility, and we see people returning slowly to our sports center, and we hope that positive trend continues. The other opening that we celebrated quietly yesterday, just for ourselves, was that we reopened the Dennis the Menace Park yesterday on a Tuesday morning, gray, overcast. We had quite a few people with their children coming to the Dennis the Menace Park again. The park received also over the past 12 months a facelift. It received also a brand new play structure. In August, I believe 2020, we received a play structure that resembles a boat. But it was yesterday the very, very first time that the children could actually play within that play structure, or play overall the first time again at Dennis the Menace Park. The park is now open 6 days a week. On Mondays, the park will remain closed because we have to conduct maintenance there. Our objective, though, is to also open the park up Monday afternoon. So the mornings will be used for maintenance and cleaning, etc. But sooner or later, again, we will have the park open on Mondays, completely open on Mondays. It's just a matter of time when we get to that point. Parallel, I just want to remind everyone that on Mondays also We still are supporting the food bank of Monterey with a food drive there in a little loop in front of the youth center, and next to Dennis the Menace in that parking lot. The National Guard is handing out food there with one or two staffers from the city of Monterey helping them. And of course, we use the remaining resources. Usually, we had it fully staffed by City of Monterey to prepare recreational programs that we are bringing back slowly but steadily to the City of Monterey. So we are working right now on our summer program. We will not have Toro Park, Camp Quien but we will have other day camps, and we will have other recreational programs that parents can send their kids to. And we are going to hire also a lot of part-time employees again. Usually these are high schoolers or young college students that help us out during the summer months. And as many of you know, many of those in the end will work somewhere in a recreation department, and many of our recreation folks working in our city right now, or have been working in the city in the recreation department, have actually started as participants, and then they became youth group leaders, and then they really enjoyed it. And after their studies, they came back and started working for the city of Monterey in Parks and Recreation. So we are hiring people. If you know about high school kids, high school grads, young college kids, or others who are interested in applying for a job, please go on our website. Everything is posted there for the right way of how to apply. So please spread the word. I want to share with you the other city opening data, and that is about how do we bring people back into our offices. As you know, a part of our operation is working telecommuting from various places around Monterey or inside Monterey. And as vaccinations are becoming more prevalent, and as also our employees are now almost fully vaccinated, we will start opening up City Hall again, and we'll probably also will have sooner than later again meetings conducted in the city council chamber, and we will also allow the public again to participate in person during those meetings. And again, it's a delicate balance right now. There is no right way of reopening, so we are basically carefully progressing and figuring out what is the right strategy and what are the right conditions of reopening. So as we are doing that, we are also looking at what other cities are doing. Are they requiring for in-person meetings that everyone has to be vaccinated? Are they requiring testing? What is going on? Again, this is brand new for every one of us. But I'm very hopeful that probably around Memorial Day or early June, we will have a city hall opened up again to have face-to-face interactions with our friends and our neighbors and our customers. So we're working on that right now. The other element that is important for me also, that we want to be very respectful to our individual employees. Every single one of us has a different level of comfortableness with interacting with people. And one of the things probably also we all have to relearn is how to interact with each other without being full of fear or afraid of each other. And so that will be also part of our reopening strategy, to understand that all our employees are not equal. Even though if every single one is vaccinated, there may be still different approaches required for different employees based on their own personal experience and based on their own personal family and medical background. So I envision right now that we will have some form of opening up all our offices, that we will have also some form of public meetings prior to July 1st implemented. But what we will also see is a respectful face-in for some of our team members. There's a quick sidebar here because I spoke about July. I learned this week that there will be no July 4th parade. The reason for that, of course, is that this will be attracting 10, 12,000 people into the downtown area. And the parade organizers, which are not city organizers, they just feel not comfortable right now in organizing a July 4th parade. It's also relatively late in the game to attract the bands and to get the various groups lined up for that. We at City Hall are contemplating still to have some sort of pancake drive-through, like the firefighters have organized that in the past. We will have more flexibility there, but also we want to be respectful that we are not creating a mass gathering event that might not be appropriate at that time of the year. So with that, please take away that the event organizers for the July 4th parade will not conduct that parade, and we'll see what else we can organize as the city to still celebrate Independence Day in an appropriate and safe form. My next speaking point is I want to talk about county data with respect to infection rates and vaccination rates. The county, Dr. Moreno, specifically yesterday briefed the Board of Supervisors, and in the evening I had a chance to brief the City Council. I used some of Dr. Moreno's slides to just basically say that the data is still developing in the right way. We can definitely see that the number of infections, the 7-day rolling average of infections, is trending still downwards, and the number of infections per 100,000 resident also is trending downwards. It may have plateaued off a little bit, but at a low level. So that is the good news. I can share with you also that testing, the number of people using tests to check for potential infections is trending in the same way as the state of California is trending. There are just not enough people going to get tested right now, but we are definitely also not in any shape or form different than the majority of California is. So both curves are almost identical trends. So testing in the county reflects also the general attitude in the state of California towards testing. The Johnson & Johnson vaccine is not being used right now. You heard about it last week, Monday, that it was taken off the market. There will be a second meeting this week, Friday, by the Advisory Council for Immunization and Protection. That's the name of this advisory board that is advising the FDA. They will have a second meeting on Friday, and we will see what they will conclude at that time. Parallel this morning, I read in a newspaper that, an online newspaper, I read that the European Union has again given the green light for Johnson & Johnson, with appropriate warning of potential blood clots for certain circumstances. So again, I cannot predict what is going to happen on Friday. But again, stay tuned. Friday at 11 o'clock Eastern Time, the Advisory Council for Immunization and Protection, ACIP, will meet and will advise the FDA about Johnson & Johnson. That, by the way, is a public meeting, and you can also submit public comments there. So, like you can do for City Hall. So that is very, very interesting. We have in the city, in our refrigerators, Johnson & Johnson right now. We also have Moderna, And of course, we want to vaccinate sooner than later. And if we have if we have a permission from the FDA on Friday, I wouldn't be surprised if we have a clinic next week or so that will administer Johnson and Johnson again. Generally, let me share with you that it appears to me that we have enough vaccines right now at our disposal here. Yesterday, we urgently sent out request information on our social media channels that there are vaccine appointments plentiful available for clinics today and tomorrow out in Marina. So I encourage all of you to check in with your neighbors, check in with your friends, check in with your family members. Everyone is eligible, 16 and older, and please get them vaccinated. We really got to get to a point where we achieve herd immunity sooner than later. And we are really, really blessed in this country, in the United States of America, that we have this vaccine supply available to us. Other countries are really struggling with that. Other highly developed industrialized nations have not the amount of vaccines that we have available. So please spread the word, check in just with your neighbors, and let us know who we might be overlooking. Vaccines are available, and fill up those appointments. I give you some numbers now that might be interesting for you. We have 75% of our population 65 and older vaccinated. Let me say that number again. 75% of the population 65 and older is fully vaccinated. About 70% of the population 55 and older is fully vaccinated here in the county. So that's good numbers as well. I give you another number that I got from Dr. Moreno, which is 57% of the population on the Monterey Peninsula and Big Sur has received at least one dose of vaccines. That's 57%. And last but not least, a number specifically for the city of Monterey. In the city of Monterey, 46% of eligible folks have received at least one dose. 46%. That number is actually lower than I would have thought. And so that shows us for our own clinics also that we are holding with the fire department, that we will continue to maybe reach out to certain groups here in the city of Monterey to ensure that we also get the numbers up with respect to the zip code of 93940. All right, that was my overview over vaccinations in the county and about city opening. So all those two topics are kind of COVID-19 related. Here's a third one, COVID-19 related, the American Rescue Plan and the funds that the city of Monterey will be receiving. I shared with you that before that the American Rescue Plan has assigned $6.47 million, almost $6.5 million to the city of Monterey, which we will receive in 2 installments. The objective of those funds is to help the cities with their revenue losses. Now, the American Rescue Plan has generously allocated funding across the Tri-County area. And what you will hear over the next couple of weeks and months, you will hear regional discussions about how to spend those funds in a regional way. Are there things that we can create? Are there things that we should regionally fund to improve certain aspects of service levels in the county here in Monterey, or even in the Tri-County area? There are discussions also, or there will be discussions on how to pool money between Santa Cruz County, Monterey County, and San Benito County, again, to create maybe projects or funding opportunities for joint larger scale regional projects. could involve social services, could involve homelessness, it could involve affordable housing. What I like you to know, though, is for the city of Monterey, the funding that we have received of $6.5 million will not allow us to play with our regional partners. Our regional partners had different revenue losses, and they also received funding through the American Rescue Plan that more than offset the revenue losses. Actually, one city got 10 times back what they lost in revenues here in the Tri-County area. We'll share those data in more detail with you over the next couple of weeks. But what I want you to take away from that is that our $6.5 million that the city of Monterey has received are not offsetting the $32 million that we have in revenue losses. Monterey is uniquely hit hard by COVID-19 losses. And as you all know, that is all centered around the hospitality industry. And while those discussions will be going on in the county, about how can we pool our money, it will be staff's recommendation to the city council that we frankly cannot afford to allocate a dime of those dollars to worthy adventures or worthy service levels outside of the city of Monterey. We just need to focus on our own operation, which is bringing back the library at the proposed funding level that the library board is proposing. We got to bring back the sports center as we can, as you know, currently with the visitor volume that we have and the staffing cost, as well as the operation of a swimming pool that is heated at 74 degrees and the therapeutic pool, which is heated at 92 degrees. There are tremendous costs in just keeping the operation going. We can just simply not afford to divert any of those funds away from the city of Monterey. So our budget proposal will be focused on just restoring our own service needs. I ask you to share that information also with your neighbors. In this case, we are just getting. I don't want to use the word shortchanged, because $6.5 million is a good sum of money. But to a degree, this just replenishes 19% of the revenue losses that we actually suffered. So somewhere we got to figure out how we are getting by through the next 2 years. And so what we are doing is slowly reopening, adjusting our service levels as we can afford it, and trying to avoid dipping further into our reserves, but using the American Rescue Plan funds for our own purposes. This will be all discussed over the next couple of weeks and months, but I want you to understand that, again, we have to focus on the needs of our own city of Monterey first before we can actually look at regional solutions. As you know, Monterey has been and will continue to be a regional leader on many topics. Unfortunately, right now for us is not the time to really participate in some of those very interesting and very worthy discussions that will happen over the next couple of weeks and months. With that, I talk about the next topic, which is a regional challenge, and it was brought up last night by a resident who called in at the council meeting and shared her concern about homelessness, especially around the highways, Highway 1 and I think to a lesser degree Highway 68. The challenge that you see there are the encampments that are in existence left and right of the highway. They are also in the on and off ramps of the highway. And frankly, the discussion was, you got to do something, City of Monterey. Use your American Rescue Plan funds to help those homeless, at least divert some of those funds for that. So that will be a decision for our decision makers, and I gave you already my clear understanding how we have to use those funds. But what you need to understand is that that those properties are not within the oversight of the city of Monterey. These are state-owned properties, specifically Caltrans owned properties, and we ran several interferences to discuss how can we avoid having homeless camps next to busy off ramps. How can you help us to ensure that the fire danger that are caused sometimes by campfires can be mitigated? The state has it made extremely difficult for local agencies, including also state agencies such as Caltrans, to come up with reasonable solutions. There is a almost absolute directive given of not touching homeless encampments. And that can be traced back to our governor's office, which basically ordered very, very early on to leave homeless encampments where they are. Now, the point in all of that is if a new homeless encampment pops up, it is still a new homeless encampment, but it's still something that we have to leave in place where it is. Uh, Parallel over the past 2, 3, 4 years, you also have seen, and most of you have probably approved it, propositions and state legislation that recognizes the need for homeless encampments to stay where they are, or to uh, for sure curtail the local authorities with respect on how to deal with homeless encampments. So what you're seeing right now here is a culmination of several things. It's COVID-19 and the stay-at-home order being expanded to stay in your encampments, as providing shelter and security to a degree to the homeless. But you see also the results of many years of um, expressions by elected officials, elected by all of us, and propositions voted for by all of us, or at least voted favorably by the majority of the voters. And you see all that culminating right now. So the hands of the cities are pretty much tied. And the good proposal that came last night as well, we understand all that, but how can we help them, the homeless? And again, City of Monterey has been a regional leader there with a multidisciplinary outreach team, which basically works homeless by homeless person to trying to figure out what it specifically helps this particular homeless person. And we really try to track every single homeless person that we have here in the city by name and by their specifics. What kind of medical issues do they have? What kind of mental issues do they have? What kind of addiction problem is there? What is the specific circumstance that took this person into homelessness? And we are trying to offer help. Every single time when somebody comes to us, or every single time when we finally find a way of accessing someone's personality, and this person then finally says, all right, I need help, please help me, we can place them into a rehabilitation program, we can place them into housing. There are still enough opportunities right now, but it takes really a one-on-one intervention that we are doing with our multidisciplinary outreach team. Again, this is something that the city of Monterey piloted 3-4 years ago. It is something that has received national recognition. We are actually presenting on the national level what we are doing. City of Santa Cruz has developed something similarly. They call it different. They gave it a different name, but we are working really hard and have continued working really hard during the COVID-19 outbreak also to help those folks to get them out of the camps. There is no simple solution out there. It will require continued one-on-one work, and of course, we also need to continue to provide affordable housing opportunities. And when you look at that, affordable housing opportunities, what you're seeing also in the newspaper and in the media is that the city of Monterey and the water management district jointly are working very hard to penetrate the State Water Resources Control Board to allow us to use some of the water savings that we have created here in our water management district for affordable housing. Right now, not a single drop of water can be allocated to affordable housing, not a single drop of water from those savings, because frankly, the State Water Resources Control Board has imposed conditions that make that impossible. And the city of Monterey was spearheading this effort. The water management district jumped on board, and jointly now we are pushing very hard to get water saved here in the area allocated to several projects that we have in the pipeline that can create over 420 units of affordable housing. And here's the good news. Those affordable housing units, the majority of them will be hopefully created on Garden Road. So our precious neighborhoods, we do not have to go into discussions about what kind of building, what kind of apartment building would fit again into, let's say, New Monterey. We have created a zoning that will allow to put a bulk of those affordable housing units into the Garden Road overlay. Of course, there are here and there other projects also in the city of in the remaining parts of the city of Monterey. But again, we are highly dependent on getting the okay from the State Water Resources Control Board. And I appreciate very much the help that we have received from community activists and from other groups that are helping us, including Assembly Member Mark Stone and also Senator John Laird, who is also trying to help us here with respect to getting that water allocated. It goes back to the last point that I always make is we need to have a permanent water solution here in Monterey. And I think that is something that all of our community members and elected officials have to focus on, because homelessness is directly connected to water supply as well. So with that, my last point that I promised you to speak was cannabis. And we have put some new information on the website, Have Your Say Monterey. We held a public outreach meeting last week and discussed with business districts and some adjacent neighborhoods the possibility of where to put commercial dispensaries. I share with you that staff will propose to the City Council at their next full meeting early May to put 2 dispensaries into the Lighthouse Cannery Row district and 1 dispensary into the Old Town area. We will not propose to bring anything to North Fremont, and we received some input back at the last public outreach meeting on Wednesday, where we had invited the business association and, as I stated earlier, also the adjacent neighborhood associations, just to again do check in with them and hear what they have to say. We will present that, and then of course the next step is that our elected officials say, okay, go ahead with that, or they will send us back to the drawing board, or they will on the spot make a different recommendation. So please stay tuned on that. But our roadmap for cannabis, we are continuing to march forward and implement that. So with that, it's 10:05. You heard 35 minutes of me. I looked at the chat box. I don't see any questions. That's fine with me. If you have a question that you'd like to share with me via email, you all know my email address. It's my last name, Uslar, Uslar, at monterey.org, monterey.org. So with that, look forward. We'll publish the city focus anytime soon online. Look forward also to our daily email updates. We are breaking through the 250 mark on Friday. We thank you as always for your support. We really feel that we are pulling together as a community, and without your input and without your criticism and without your constructive work behind the scenes, our city wouldn't be as great as it is. We are looking hopefully into the future. Things have begun to stabilize, and I think we are on the right path forward. Nevertheless, as I always say, please wear your mask. Please be kind to each other, understand social distancing, and wash your hands often. And we will be soon out of this. With that, have a wonderful day, and see you in 2 weeks. Bye-bye.